Hello everybody, welcome to the Game Warrior. My name is Jason, and today we are going to do a detailed unboxing of Frosthaven. So, a couple days ago, I did an unboxing of Shell. And there was a really nice gentleman who made a comment on my video and said, that was great, but a couple funny things. One, you talked about Frosthaven most of the time, of course, and he said, maybe consider going a little more detailed. So, we're gonna take our time. We're just gonna take our time today, and we're gonna dig in to Frosthaven. Okay, let's open the box. So, this is my very first Kickstarter. Now, I have a ton of games around here that you know about if you've been following me and spending some time with me. You know I have a ton of them, but this is the very first one I ordered. Very first one. It came last night in the snow as I was leaving to go to Salt Lake for my gaming night, where we played Flamecraft and Foundations of Rome. I came up as a loser, didn't win on either of them, not too happy about that, but still had a lot of fun with my friends. All right, as I'm leaving, I see the UPS guy pass me, a block from my house. I'm like, oh my gosh, that guy's got Frosthaven. You know what he did? He left it outside, and it had an inch of snow on top of it. He just put it at the top of the driveway, just set it there. Luckily, Cephalo Fair Games double boxed this, so there was a whole nother box around it. That box was wet. I do have, I want you to see, focus in on this, a puncture too. See that? So I'm hoping that doesn't cause any damage. I'm hoping. My good friends, I'm hoping. So this is it. This is my first Kickstarter ever. Let's take a look at it from above. There you go. Beautiful art. Done by a guy named Mr. Isaac. Mr. Isaac. Oh my. Let's pause this because it's probably going to take some time getting it out. Before I pause it though, I do want to show you. Look at that. See that? Over here? Over here? Yep, isn't that kind of cool? That is triple boxed, so they had a complete other box. This came out of it, and look how thick those boxes are. Right, so he really was able and afforded, because it was so successful, to be super protective with this game. So that's pretty cool. Okay, so guess how much I paid for this? I paid $100 for the base game. I spent an extra $15 to get, I set it aside already, but I'll find it in a minute, the solo scenario. Not sure why I did that back then, because I wasn't much of a solo player, and I'm still not, but I'll probably play it solo because I have so many games. And then I also spent 15 extra bucks for the fortune teller narration. So 30 bucks for the add-ons, 100 bucks for the base game, and $28 for shipping. Crazy, like $157 after it was done. A little bit less than 160 for all this, right? Is that crazy? Compared to the prices that have increased in a couple years, isn't that nuts? All right, so let's take a deeper look. Now look at I don't know if you can see how thick this box is, right? You know. That is thick. Let's take a break right now and go see how thick the Gloomhaven box is. All right, take a look. Take a look. Look about that much. That much bigger. Wow, huh? Wow, quite a bit bigger. Now I'm going to take a second here to kind of ramble a little, and this is what I'm going to ramble about. I do not have Jaws of the Lion, but Jaws of the Lion has the flip book. The flip book, which is a system I've also seen in Forgotten Waters. But in Jaws of the Lion, it's the map. So it's like a big atlas. Remember those old road atlases? Are you old enough to remember the big old road atlases here in the United States for every state? We didn't have Google. We didn't have Siri. We had road atlases. Rand McNally, I think is what they were called. And they were big. And those are perfect. That's what I'd rather use, if you ask me, than tiles. So I think we're getting tiles here, I'm pretty sure. And I think the day of tiles is over. It's past. It's past. I did hear of a new game that I've been interested in. It's called something of Thorgal. Thorgal. Yeah, I just read about it yesterday. I mean, I read about it before, but I just had a new update yesterday. It hasn't come out yet. It's going to be on GameFound. And they said they're going to use the Flipbook Adventure Book. I'm sorry that my board's a little dirty. It's either take this whole thing out, wash it, dry it, iron it, or dive into Frosthaven. And I know that you want to get frosty with me. You want to get frosty. And you're probably laughing right now at my difficulty. Let's see if someone taped this thing down. Old Isaac's laughing at me. He is watching this video. He is. And he's like, I'm going to watch Jason try to open this box and not realize it's taped. What? That, my friends, is Lucy. That's my new kitten, Lucy. She is a mutant. She climbs in the Christmas tree and causes all sorts of havoc. I love her. She's amazing. To get lucky, she'll jump up here, but okay. 1 to 4 players, 30 minutes per player, ages 14 and up. That's for sure. Wait, when the game says 14 and up, that means it's danged confusing. It's difficult. So this is going to be a game. I have a gaming group that I think would love this game. Oh, I think it would love. But we're like 6. We bounced between 6 and 7 people yesterday. 2 people didn't come, so we had 5 people. So we played 5-player Foundations of Rome. Great game. Haven't done my review for that yet. And the game that me and my wife just learned over Thanksgiving, which was Flamecraft. And I know, this is supposed to be about Frosthaven, but there's a little bit of rambling here too. Otherwise, it wouldn't be fun, right? Because you could just go open your own box. Why would you want to see me do it, right? I gotta be entertaining, so I gotta tell you about Flamecraft, which is really, really cute. It's a great game underneath it. I gotta tell you, it's a great game underneath it. It's cute. I like the cuteness. We had a rebel in the group who thought, you know what? Great game, but it was too cute. Too cutesy. Too cutesy. Couldn't go for it. All right. Oh my gosh. This is literally, friends, it's not the biggest game. You know what the biggest game probably is? Let's look over here. Was Oathsworn with those big boxes. But this is probably the biggest box I've ever had, right? This is probably the biggest box. So it opens here, and I know you're gonna think I'm crazy. I know, but I grew up reading paperback books. And one of the most important things to me about paperback books and hardbacks was their smell. Loved going into old libraries, old bookstores. My dad took me to old bookstores all the time, and I just loved the smell of old books. I love the smell of Magic cards, Magic the Gathering cards when they were first printed. They have an amazing smell. I love the smell, above all else smells, is the smell of my huge red leather-bound edition of Lord of the Rings that I read in 5th grade. They've republished it, like Houghton Mifflin has republished it. You can see it. It's available. It's the big red leather-bound edition. It's still out there. It does not smell the same. It doesn't smell the same. You know what else I love? Is the smell of old D&D modules. Like open yourself an old preserved module of Shrine of the Tuatchoan or A1, the Slaver Stockade. That might be A2, by the way. Against the Giants. Go smell those. Oh my gosh. So, I know you can't smell, but I'm going to smell. Actually, board games have been having a smell lately to me, and I think this must be like the plastic or the producing over in China. I do like the smell. It does make me think about it. Now look, we open with a welcome to Frosthaven. Stop! You, right now, stop the video, stop the video! Just kidding. Stop. Read this before you do anything else. There's a significant number of components in this game box, you think? And it's important to make sure they're organized before your first game. This guide will show you how to organize everything so that you can start playing as quickly as possible. Okay, I'm gonna show you something. You back? Okay. See this up here on the top of my bookshelf in my office? All these boxes? Those are all my Gloomhaven boxes. Yeah, I mean, it didn't fit back in there, right? It's not gonna fit back in there. So, you wanna come back this way? Here we go. You actually kind of see, oh, there's Lucy. Oh, here's Mungo. Here's Mungo. I know. Someone's gonna say, well, instead of seeing Frosthaven, I liked spending time with you, Jason, but I actually spent more time watching you talk to your cats. That's not true. A little bit of it, right? So what am I saying with this? I'm saying that I highly doubt when it's all said and done that this is all gonna go back in here. I just don't think it's going to. But this guide will help you. You've got your puzzle books, your scenario book, your section book, your rule book, your sticker sheets, your campaign sheets, your map boards. It does have some tray lids for how they go back together. Organizational stuff. Luckily, I'm pretty much familiar with a lot of this. I don't know how different the game is. Now, guess what's coming? Do you know? What? She just keeps crying. Do you know, we get Frosthaven and Gloomhaven miniatures. So somewhere at the beginning of the year, we will be getting that to back. I'm wondering about that. Let's pause for a second from looking in here and discuss that. Let's do a little ramble, you and I, shall we? It'll be fun. Am I gonna get him? It would be cool, right? I like the idea, but I'm wondering if it's too late. Like, I'll have played through this enough. I'll probably get to the point where I'm not playing it anymore. And then waiting 2 years and having another box like this come in full of miniatures for this game that I won't play. And look, I'm not the only one. Lucy? What you doing? Well, we're just gonna have to deal with her crying. So you see what I mean? I'm excited. I doubt I'll back it. I'll back it out of the pure practicality of it. If I had them today, see that? That's 2 thumbs up. Okay, let's look at this rule book. Now that is a thick rule book. My friend said, let's get a little detailed with our frosty adventures, so let's do that. I liked the rule book. Okay, so let's story time. Is it story time? When I got Gloomhaven, my wife looked at me like I was nuts. And I spent I got it on sale on Amazon. I had a friend named Greg, and he reached out and he said, hey, it's on sale if you want it now. So I'd heard a lot about it, of course, and I went and got it. I think I got it for like 85, 80, 90. Try getting it for that now, but I got it, and my wife couldn't believe I'd almost spent $100. And then she got into this mode, for which I'm sure she's sorry, which was, well, if you spent that much money for it, you're gonna play it. So we learned it. We had to learn it. And back then, I got a lot of turbulence in the brain. A lot of turbulence over rule books because they were complex, and they made me feel stupid. And so I had a lot of board games that I didn't play because I was finding some turbulence reading the rules. I get the same turbulence now reading all these rules. I just power through it. So, but this was the first book I tried to overcome my turbulence on, and if you think about it, it was one of the craziestly most difficult things possible. So let's look at this. So it's really well printed. It's all in full color. Here's our starting classes. If you know anything about Frosthaven, Gloomhaven, you know you'll have starting classes, and then later you'll junk them and move them to other ones, which is the one part of the game I really don't like, because I like to identify with my character, but because it's not a role-playing game and instead more of a puzzle game, I can accept it. But that's one of the things I'm not really pleased about. But I think it's genius in one way, it's not in another. It's not because you spend, 10, 15 adventures with one character, you get attached to them, you learn them, you learn how to work them, and then boom, you got to start it over. And that's part of the game. That's part of the game, but that's also a negative of the game. So let's look at the starting character classes. We get the Banner Spear, low complexity. We have the Drifter, low complexity, the Bone Shaper, medium complexity, the Deathwalker, medium complexity. You get the Blink Blade, high complexity, and the Geminate. So you get six starting classes. Here's how you create your character. You got your tuck boxes, learning the rules, right? Scenario phase, beginning a scenario, laying it out. You can already see that the tiles here on the artwork, see that? Are gonna be frosty looking. You wanna get frosty? We're gonna get frosty. All right, now I've been using a app, but I haven't played Gloomhaven in a long time, and I've heard that there's some confusion about that app. So see these envelopes that you use for the monsters? We use an app to handle all of that. So I don't know if there is an app for this yet. Does anyone know? If you do, tap and let me know. I'll find out shortly, but sometimes I love to just ask my friends on the internet. Road events. Remember when you go out to the road, there's an event, and often in the city, there's an event. Nice little cool things. They're not always all bad. Here's your tiles, obstacles. It's a great picture, your battle goals. So in this game, if you don't know, every time you play a scenario, you get a battle goal. So it's random. So everyone just gets a random battle goal. And these battle goals kind of shake it up a little. You get a little something extra to do. And if you succeed in it, so you've got the whole scenario that you want to succeed in, plus you got those little side hustle you're on. This one is an executioner. In the example, it says kill an undamaged enemy with a single attack action, and you get a check mark, which is a bonus for your character. Stuff like that, right? Little cool stuff I've always liked. Playing the scenario, select your cards. So it's a card-driven game. This is really a dungeon crawl. If you wanted to know, it's a dungeon crawl. You're going to go through dungeons, but there's a story behind it. It's a campaign story. So you go through and you can make choices, and the map will fill out later on. You can put stickers on it, ones you've been through, ones you haven't, ones you've discovered. But the main mechanic of the game is you have a character, you have a character class. It's a miniature. All the monsters are standees. We just talked about how they won't be standees in a couple of years, but right now they're standees. And you govern your actions from a deck of cards. So you have a deck, and you got your whole deck, and you use it. You use it to do your actions. It governs your moves, it governs your attacks, it governs your special abilities, and each character is totally different. And so learning to use the deck is really incredible. Now there's two types of powers in the deck. This is pretty cool. One or one use and you're done. They never come back. Others, you can use them again. They go into the discard pile, but you can take a rest and refresh them. But every time you refresh, you get all your cards back from the discard, except for the ones that are only one uses, minus one. So you're always getting a little more tired, so you can't go on forever. And that's another part of the game that's really brilliant. You also choose a card to start with, and that is your initiative number, right? And now we got some rules, actions, abilities, line of sight, that great stuff, effects, area effect, how to attack, there's a teleport, how to move, flying over, going over obstacles. If you're familiar with dungeon crawls or D&D, then all of this makes some sense, right? You have to have some rules for movement. How do you attack? How do you do damage? Attack effects, advantage and disadvantage. Now this system, instead of a dice, uses a deck of cards, right? And so you pull cards to give yourself a little extra damage or a little less damage, and it's a pretty cool system. Then you got your conditions, your positive conditions, your negative conditions. Oh, I'm wounded. Oh, I'm poisoned. Oh, I'm immobilized. Oh, I've lost my weapon. Oh, I'm stunned. Oh, I'm cursed. All these kind of things. And this is telling you how the system works, right? The loot system, I'm going to tell you something that you probably... There's a loot system. So you find treasure in this game, and built into the system is some of your abilities are give you the ability to loot. So if there's a coin on the floor and you have to use one of your cards, one of its top powers or its bottom, not both, to loot. And it makes treasure really rare. It makes it tactical to pick up treasure, so forth and so on. I'm going to tell you something. I'm just going to come right out and be honest with you, okay? We don't use the loot rules. It flies in the face of logic so much, and I know Isaac was just having fun with making the game tactical on every level, but I just, in reality, if I fight you in a dungeon room, or I fight a slug and I kill it, I fight a skeleton, and it's got a sack of pouch of gold, I just pick it up. It's just mine. I don't have to loot it. I don't have to use a thing, and if I didn't, I don't get it. It's so cool in the mechanics of the game, but so not fun. I know there's probably a lot of you out there, and give it to me. I'm okay. Give it to me. Say, hey, the loot system is so cool. We just don't use it. If there's treasure there, we just get it at the end. And of course, that probably means our characters are a little overpowered. For what it's worth, we still get our butts kicked all the time, right? Okay, manipulating tiles, commanding figures, character turns. Here's your abilities, the up and the down and how they work. Triggers, monster turns, of course. In any game like this, you gotta know how the monster works. Oh, resting, how you get your cards back. Exhaustion, character damage, dying, monster ability cards. Look at how thick this. Oh, any good game, any good dungeon crawl has what? Bosses. Got to have some bosses, right? And so this is how they work: revealing and spawning monsters, ending a scenario, ending a round, common scenario rules. The adventure begins, how to start, probably a pretty good campaign overview. Now, if you want to learn Gloomhaven, the base game, now, I'm not sure how close it is to Frosthaven. I think having gone this far, I can tell you it's pretty close. It's pretty close. Now, what are the details that have changed? I don't know. But I can tell you this. It's pretty close. But if you really want to learn the game, get yourself the Jaws of the Lion game. And gosh, I saw it the other day for 38 bucks. 38 bucks. I think it was on Amazon for sale. It might have been, Cool Miniature Market or something like that. Or Game Nerds. Man, that's pretty good. That's a pretty good price. And in it, back on the internet, come back with me to the internet. There is Watch It Play does a 7-part how to play series. And I watched that whole series even after I'd learned Gloomhaven so that I can make sure I had all the rules right. And so it really did help me. Here's your character sheet, how you use that. Here's your campaign sheet, because the campaign will go up. Resources, the town guard deck, unlocking new buildings, unlocking new classes. So this game starts with those 6 base classes, but eventually you'll get to a point in the story where your class is done. So you've been, Bob the Warrior for a while, and then you're not Bob the Warrior anymore. You're Amanda the Witch, right? You get to choose, or you've opened a specific one. And that's another very unique piece of this game. Though I will say, in Oathsworn, my initial character, the Harbinger, just sacrificed himself, or itself, in a very, very heroic move that few people other than me could have done. But I did it. And now I have to pick up a new character. I moved over to the Witch. So if you like a role-playing game where you get into the character, not the mechanics, but the character, and the idiosyncrasies of it, this game is not for you. This is 100% tactical. So, and you will switch off of your character. You'll change by the rules, right? Oathsworn did a big sacrifice in the story. I don't know if Frosthaven does things like that, but we'll see. Outpost events, defense checks, building operations, downtime, leveling up, retiring a character, getting a new character, creating the new character, crafting items, and brewing potions is a cool part of the game, selling items and purchasing items, constructing items, upgrading, rebuilding. And over here you have game variants, casual mode. That's if you just want to play a scenario, right? Crossover classes, temporary enhancements, solo mode. Got to have a solo mode in today's board gaming things. Wouldn't be a good game if you couldn't play solo. Wait a minute. Wouldn't be a good game if you couldn't play cooperative. Wait, you got to have a cooperative mode, got to have a competitive mode, and you got to have a solo mode. All right, random dungeons, inventory, monster turn guides, all your appendix, treasure appendix. Oh, look at that index. That makes any gamer who wants a serious index happy. And here's all the credits. Okay, all right. Wait, We're still here. Well, of course, there's more than just a rule book. Look at this. This says some codes on it. You see the codes? And it's stuck shut. So it will tell us when to open that. Don't open it now. There are cool little secret things in it. Here's your section book. What's a section book? Oh, these are all, I think these are all the scenarios. That's not true, because here's a scenario book. Right? I'm sure we're not supposed to look through this. Yeah, here's the scenarios, right? There were 100 scenarios in the game. It tells you how to set the whole thing up and how to win them, right? And then you'll move around on the big map, and it'll say, go over to the collection's capstone, right? And then you fight that one. And then it'll say, jump over to number 64, the Frosthaven seal. And then you jump over to number 55, change of heart. And we're going through those quickly without any spoilers. So the last one had, I think, 100 scenarios. Look at this. Where are we gotten up to? We're up to 137 scenarios. Oh, and look at that beautiful art. Okay, so this Spiral Bound, it's working. I was looking at a Spiral Bound game from Sheol yesterday, and the rulebook wasn't turning very well. It was getting caught on this section here. We're getting some good catches. We're getting some good stuff. High quality made. Now, you know, Isaac does have, I think this made $11 to $13 million. Who knows how much more in late pledges. It also goes to retail, sells ton there. So he's got a lot of money to make it right and to make it the vision he wants. I really appreciate that. Some of these younger companies that are scraping by, I know they want to make it better, but they just can't afford it. Here's the section book. So I don't know what the sections are. I'm not sure. They have little maps. Maybe they're smaller. This is new to me, so I do not know what these are. They look maybe they're sections in the scenarios, or maybe they are separate little ones. They have numbers like 78.1. What did we see? Let's see. We had a 55 in here. Let's look at this. A 75, infiltrating the lair. So look at 75 here. 75.1, Heart of Ice. 75.2, Sky Hall. 75.3, The Way Forward. Yeah, don't know. Don't know what the sections are. We'll find out together someday. Again, these books are good. The Spiral works. You're gonna have to be careful not to rip these if you use them a lot. You're gonna have to be careful. They're not perfect. Further onward, here is our campaign sheet. So you get one of those. You probably can download a PDF of that later on if you want. And here goes, this is gonna be the city map. So let's look at it together. I'm getting so sick, I gotta tell you I got some stuff on the thing. Like I told you, I could have gone and cleaned it. This is the city map. So this city map already is quite a bit bigger than the city map or the map from Gloomhaven. I'm getting tired of boards because I gotta tell you, they just don't lay flat when they come out of the box. But this one is remarkably good. Remarkably good. So here is the outpost. I think this is bigger. This is quite a bit bigger than the map from Gloomhaven. So let's get this. Look, so here's the outpost. You got to imagine being out in the frozen cold with barbarians and tough stuff up there, right? And that's kind of what we have here. This is the outpost. And see, there's a couple stickers on there already. I'll get zoomed up on what I mean. Right there is the wall, right? So that has some characteristics. That's the hunting lodge. Do you see that? Let's scooch up. Yep. And so all of these empty places, we'll later put stickers on. We'll put stickers in. So this whole thing is going to fill out. So we'll have our adventures in the outpost of Frosthaven, in this brutal, cold, difficult area. And then, boom, we'll go out and explore the northern coast, right? And so there's the big map, and you can see on the big map, let's see if you can see it. That's Frosthaven, the village, and then there's all these numbers. There's little numbers all over the place, and we'll put stickers over them as we go, and we'll fill them in. How many of them will we fill in? 130, what was it? 134 of them? 135 of them. 137. Actually, we won't, because some of them will play in here. Some of them will be in here, in the city, right? So there, I'm sure, see that little mountain I just zoomed in on? That's gonna be 130, right? So this board is important part of the game, and it's pretty well made. It's thick, it's nice. Yeah, I'm happy with it. It lays flat. Okay, we're back. So they've got some trays. Now, if I remember right, they changed tray makers in the middle of the game because they got offended by something the previous tray maker did. I can't remember what it was. Something political, I think. These look like stickers. Oh, they are big stickers, so they'll go on places somewhere. Maybe in the book, in the scenario books, or the section books, or the rule book. And here's some purchase enhancements. Pet cards purchase. Yeah, so things are going to expand. Those are stickers. Here's the little stickers. These are tiny stickers that you'll put on your cards. So you'll upgrade your cards. I went away for a second. Where'd I go? I had to sneeze, so I didn't let you hear that. And here's some campaign stickers. So you'll see some of these stickers in the village will open up. And here's a whole bunch more. Lots and lots of stickers. All different places in the village. Oh, look at all those. Look at all those places. And some punch out herbs. I'm not sure what that is. You know what I don't see is the stickers out in the stickers out on the top of the map. These are all the villages inside walls. You can see all these stickers, but I don't see, Well, we'll see if we're missing stuff, right? We'll see if we're missing stuff. Let's take a quick look at the rule book and the components with me. It's possible it's just under the page there, right? It's possible. Here come the components. Or some of them. That's building a scenario. I don't know if that is actually the components. I don't know if they have a component page here. Most games do, but this one, unless I missed it, right? It might be over here in the Welcome to Frosthaven thing, right? So, sticker sheets. Doesn't say how many though. Maybe they don't put little stickers on the numbers out there anymore. Maybe it's just 130, like that mountain is now 130 and there's no little sticker for it. Because I don't see it right now. Okay, we'll go for it. Here's a little silica. And what do we have here? This is interesting. I do not know what this is. Let's look. Oh. Some kind of movement chart, right? I think these punch out. I've never seen this. This is not in the previous game that I know of. Well, there's a whole bunch of them. 2 of 5. Yeah, some kind of weird icon key movements. 50 to 67. Some kind of big flow chart, maybe for the story. Like 87 goes to 88, and that's weird. And then all the way to 137. Yeah. Are these stickers that go on the board? I don't think they're big enough. I am not sure what this is. This is new technology. If you've been following, once I buy in on a game, I don't keep up with every piece. Some people watch every update. I watch the update for when it's going to be here. Okay, what we have next is almost certainly the punch outs for the obstacles and the terrain boards, which I'm completely correct with. So, you want the details? Let's do a detail. Let's take a look at one, okay? So that we know in the rambling how thick that is. It's going to be in a dungeon room. You can see both sides, and each of these maps in the scenario book, and maybe even in that section book, will show us how to put these together, and then we'll take these pieces and create the terrain. Yeah, look at that. So it's pretty thick. It's laying flat, so I don't have any problem with that. This is just terrible to store. Oh, it's terrible. There's nothing you can do about it. It's just bad. Some tokens of sorts. This is probably some, logs, and this is, debris. That might be your doors, right? Let's see what the doors are, and you might put a door on the map. So, okay, we're not going to punch the rest of those out. You don't want that many details, but look, we will look through it. Okay, we'll put those up top. Lots of different I mean, this is ridiculous how many there are. So this is the pain of the game, right? To store all this, right? This is why I really love the Rand McNally flip book thing they used in Jaws of the Lion and they use for other games. I would just make a huge Rand McNally. I'd make my box shallower and wider if possible. And then, so you can just see all of the variations. And I was just talking with one of my friends yesterday, the guy who didn't like Flamecraft because it was too cute, and he loves board games. And he told me yesterday, he says, you know what I'm done with? I'm done with punching out tokens. I hate it now. And when I was young, I used to love it. It was my favorite part. But yeah, now it's just a lot of work. And every time you punch out even more, you start to think, this is going to be work later on, isn't it? This is going to be work later on because I have to store these, I have to organize these. Oh, here we've got some punch outs on monsters. So here come the standees for the monsters. This is good, we should look at these. So this is some kind of knight, and there'll be 6 of these. Let's look at these together. I'll get up here and do you a nice focus. All right, see that? So that's going to be your standee. One side and one. There's 6 of them. This looks like a basic knight that will fight many times. Now, what will happen in the next 2 or 3 years from now, maybe 3 years from now, they'll have a set of these miniatures for Frosthaven and Gloomhaven. Now, if you had them right now and you had these little things, guess what we could do? We could paint them. That would be awesome. I really am worried. I'm going to say it again. I think having the miniatures come later isn't going to work. It's just too late. And when I say not work, it's not going to work for me. So here's some more monsters. You can see I'm going to keep those with that. You should see all of the, we have just dozens of, let's zoom out for you so you're not all claustrophobic going, why am I in the dungeon? We have them all in Ziploc bags. Each bag has the name of the monsters on it, their monster cards in it. It was just, what a job it was for Gloomhaven to organize that. And you can see here some fiery creatures, right? Maybe some icy creatures. This looks like almost a big mech from, Warhammer or War Machine. A flying fish. Yeah, so there are a ton of these, just a lot. There's a lot. So there'll be a lot of monsters, there'll be a lot of variety. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun. Frozen Corpse, just one little thing here. It says Frozen Corpse. Let's zoom in on Frozen Corpse. It's Frosthaven, right? Of course you're gonna see Frozen Corpse. All right, that's gonna be a job. That's gonna be a job. Is taking all these and organizing them. All right, and there's even more to go underneath. Look at all that. Monsters, oh, just tons. Yeah, okay, so what do we have underneath? Yeah, and now what are you gonna do with all those, right? Those are all gonna end up being in Ziploc bags to make them organized. And how are they gonna go back in here? Here's the answer, my friend. They're not. They are not going back in here, which is why you have tons of boxes and extra stuff. Okay, so the rest of this is fairly normal stuff, but let's take a look at it. Your tray obviously includes your cards. Well, shrunk wrap, they usually do high quality cards, but let's open one because we're doing details and we'll show you how the cards look. Okay, we're back. I have opened this and this. These are pretty nice cards. They're a little thinner maybe than I expected, but they're a nice, smooth, shiny plastic. They're probably easy to shuffle. I'm not sure you actually want to shuffle them. Not sure what these cards are, some type of A, B scenario. Oh, I know what these are. These are outpost encounters. You get a chance to, try one way or the other. You make a choice usually. An option A or B is how these work. So this is a lot of options, right? And they're numbered. Let's see, W0-01, W016, we're at the W040, W063, W077, W081. You think maybe they had just said 1 through 81 instead of putting the W0 on there. Okay, and here we have outpost encounters again. This is SO, so they wanted a WO and an SO, whatever that means. 2 different things. Road encounters, these are the road encounters. Haven't opened these, and these are the more road encounters. Okay, here are your character classes. Let's take a look at these things. And this is just like they did in Gloomhaven. You get a box. It's going to have your cards, it's going to have your character sheet, it's going to have a whole bunch of details. Should we look? Do you want to look? Let's look. Okay, so let's look in the rule book. And remember, it said it had the basic characters. Look. Okay, and they have those symbols. So that club is the drifter. So we can open that. So that was the first box we looked at. And let's move it aside. This is the drifter. He gets the symbol. So you come to his box. Oh, look, that's got a little ding in it. I want my money back, Isaac. I'm just kidding. I don't want my money back. I'm not one of those people that gets upset at dings. Okay, so here's my little Inox drifter. So not only that, but I have a species or race. You know, I'm in Inox. Here are my cards. So these are the cards for the drifter. They're all unique for every character class, and I'll build my action deck out of it for every encounter. So this is awesome. We won't look at it, but you can see one of their powers is the crushing weight, and it has how it works on those cards. And I'll build my deck as my character gets more and more powerful. I'll build more of these cards in to the deck and get more and more choices. These look like, oh, this is my attack deck. Everyone gets their own little attack deck, like I said, where it's +1 damage or -1, and all sorts of double damage or critical misses, all sorts of fun stuff. I have my drifter standee. Wow, in the original Gloomhaven, you got a miniature, which we painted. So I do not know, nor had I heard, that they took the miniatures out of this game. So there were miniatures in Gloomhaven. You got your own thing. And I'll be interested to see under that box if they took these out. And then here's your drifter, your card, your class, kind of some complexity and so forth. And then you keep all of that in your box. And you'll get a whole bunch of extra stuff. So the box kind of works. But we eventually got to the point where we got these wooden craft boxes that we designed, that we bought and then painted and used for Gloomhaven to hold all the stuff. So we ended up not using the tuck boxes. And you can see already right there, see how that kind of slipped out at the bottom. The tuck boxes are a good idea, but we played so much that we ended up getting these wooden craft boxes. Yeah, that's just not fitting in there. Got to kind of put it back and yeah, that is a bit of a thing to get back in there, right? And it keeps coming apart. What are you gonna do, right? I mean, the tuck box is a good idea, but wow, it's not a perfect idea. Okay, that's what one of those looks like. Okay, let's go back to the box. And there's more decks of cards for various things. These are bonus cards that you're gonna add or subtract to your deck. I have a whole bunch of cards over in this slot. Not sure what they are. Oh, these are the monster cards. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, bosses and monster cards. Oh, that was off screen there for a second. I'm sorry about that. Let's look at this. This is more monster cards, probably. Oh, this is treasures. You can tell, they're the items. So, good stuff. Love me some treasure. Gots to get me some of that sweet, sweet treasure. All right, here's your standee bases and lots and lots and lots of little bags, because there's lots of little stuff to put stuff in. Okay, that's it. It right? No. Look how big this box is. There's something underneath. Let's do it. Me and you together. Yeah, what's underneath? The aforementioned miniatures. Okay, I was worried. There's my little club. So let's take a look at the drifter. And this will be fun. Maybe I'll play the drifter just because I accidentally did it. And here you go. Let's look at the miniatures together. This is something I'm sure everyone does want to know. Let's see if it stays focused on it. There we go. Look at that. Nice miniature. See it from different angles. Maybe if I didn't have clumsy feet, clumsy fingers. Oh, there it goes into focus. Do the little 3D zoom. That guy's got a nice bow in the back. Fun little thing to paint. Now I will tell you something that I'm a little disappointed in. and I'm being fair. I am being fair. I'm playing with miniatures twice or 3 times the size in Oathsworn. And that's nice. That's nice. I like the big ones. These are little. These are little. I gotta say. Now I know he's building it off this hex. If you can see up there. Remember the hexes? His boards are hexes. The board for Oathsworn is much bigger. And yes, I know. There must be a video someday soon comparing Frosthaven and Oathsworn. Other people have already done it, but maybe I'll do it someday. Already, Oathsworn miniatures are better because they're bigger. The monsters are bigger, huge. You can see, let me show you. You want to zoom in over here? Watch this. See that at the top of that case? Up, up, up. See that up in there? Yeah, there's the monsters. That little dinosaur is actually what I use for Firefly, but you can see kind of the monsters that I keep up there. Those are so fun to paint. Oh my gosh. So we won't have that part of the game with Frosthaven, but it's a totally different game. Here's your dials. These are your little dials for your magic and your blood. Underneath here, way down, are your monster cards. Those are your monster cards. Those are usually nice, and you put those into these folders. Again, I use an app to do this. I don't know if that app is still working. I heard some rumors that it wasn't, and a new one is coming, so I'm not sure if that's happening yet. And then you use this, like if you're level 1 monster, if you're level 4 monster. So one of the things that this game does pretty amazingly well is scale. So if you take a group of 10th level adventurers, it just scales. Every encounter is now scaled to 10th level encounters. Everyone. If you take first level adventures, that same encounter now scales to first. It's pretty nuts what he's done. And I can see other game companies kind of trying it and thinking it, but they never pull it off. Oh, we have a ragpaw. This is my beautiful fat little cat. She's in a lot of the photos. She is the one I have to clean the table off because her white fur is what just sticks everywhere. She's getting frosty with us. She's getting frosty with us. Okay, let's see. There's a few more things. What are these things? Oh, these are secret envelopes, of which we have 21. It looks all the way back to A, B. So there will be certain points in the game when we'll open these and cool stuff will happen. I love that. It's a great mechanic. Okay, there's some cards back in the tray back here. The study of plants. Not sure what that is. Tracks. I think this is the little scenario if you just want to play casual. I could be wrong. Craftsman, crafting items, decks. Not sure how those work, but again, same high quality that we saw before. And one thing's kind of cool is that some of these guys, look, some of these miniatures have bigger boxes, like this spearman. Oh, it's a banner. So, is he one of the basics? If he is, we'll open it. Crossing my fingers, it is. That's the banner spear, she. So let's take a look at this miniature too. Let's take a look at this one. Are you starting to get sad? Are you starting to get sad? Because we are nearing the end of our time together this morning. It's a morning when I do this. It'll probably be afternoon by the time you see this. Yeah, look at this. Well protected. Oh my, this is a nice miniature. Right? So we'll zoom in and we'll do my little finger trick again. Here we go. Maybe? There it is. Came into focus. Right? Oh my. She's got a hawk. Look at that spear. She turns around. Yeah. Sorry? Wow. That's nice, huh? That's nice. All right. Okay. I'll put her back. Okay, I'm going to say that that's detailed enough. You've probably spent enough time with me that you're ready to either buy this game or you're eagerly awaiting it being delivered to you. If you want to buy it and you didn't back it, here's what's going to happen for you. You're going to have to wait for retail, and that's going to be sometime next year, I'm guessing. Unless old Frosty Isaac sent a whole boatload of them to Amazon as well. I do know the MSRP is going to be huge, so you'll pay a lot more than the 160 I did. Maybe not. All right, everybody. This has been fun. I hope you had fun. I hope you enjoyed the more detailed look. I got some advice yesterday from a guy when I was doing a show. He said, he didn't say this, but he kind of suggested maybe getting deeper. And I'm using my words for how he said it. He says, come on, get a little deeper. And I thought, okay, I'll do it. So I hope that wasn't boring. I hope it was exciting. I hope you had fun. And I'd love to hear your thoughts on Frosthaven. Did you get it? Are you never going to get it? Have you already got it and played it? What do you think of the components? What are some of your concerns? What do you think about the miniatures coming, in a couple of years? And what do you think of all the tiles and the boxes? Obviously, we're not going to look, right now, you can tell that even if I wanted to put all that back in the box, it would be a pain in the butt. It would be ridiculous, right? That's not happening, especially those tiles. Okay, everybody, I hope you're having a great December. I hope you're having a great holiday. I hope you're starting to get into the spirit. I hope you got some great games. I hope you have some time with your family and your friends. I also hope you exercise, eat well, take care of yourself. Big, big love from my heart to yours. This has been the Frosthaven unboxing from Jason at The Game Warrior.